If you expected me to compare this to the original Sun and Moon, then you'll be disappointed. I'm not, because I never played them, and quite frankly, I don't care. But anyway, I finished Pokemon Ultra Moon just a few minutes ago. Stating right away, this is not a full review, it's just my quick opinion on it as of right now, this very moment. I liked it, but it has a few problems. I don't think as of this moment it's the best Pokemon game, but it's probably not worth getting if you have Sun and Moon. First off, I think for a 3DS game, the graphics are pretty decent for what it's worth. The music is fun and it's always upbeat and catchy like you'd expect from the series at this point. It's kind of miraculous that they managed to have such a good track record for its music. I don't think there's a single Pokemon game that has music I don't enjoy overall. The story is, as always, it's Pokemon. Like, why would you ever play Pokemon for the story? You're just there to catch stuff and beat the shit out of other trainers. But it definitely tries. It's a lot more cinematic, in that it's plenty more cutscenes. I swear, like, half the time I spent on this game is just watching the cutscenes. Which also kind of falls flat on its ass because you can't skip them, from what I know. And they still do the whole thing where there's text scrolling. Maybe if there's a main Pokemon game for Switch, they'll do the Zelda route and switch completely to voice acting or something. I don't know, it feels like it's trying to have the best of both worlds, and I don't think it mixes too well. If you're gonna have cutscenes, at least be able to skip them fully. I'm not saying that you should skip them, but I like having the option at least. I also really like some of the new Pokemon, especially the Ultra Beasts. They have really cool design, are pretty interesting overall. Though keep in mind, as of right now, I haven't caught a single one yet. I think that's for post-game. That's as spoiler-free as I can tell that, I suppose. I'm also glad that they nerfed and buffed a few things, like certain moves or Pokemon. In some cases it's not by much, but it's always welcomed. Which is probably the only good thing they've done for the competitive scene so far, because I do like that there's a bunch of stuff like the... what's it called? Pelgrim, I can't remember, but there's like an island you can pretty much grow by yourself. You can grow berries, and all the Pokemon that's not in your party and are in the boxes can visit it and just have fun. They brought back the Pokemon Ami, just called Pokemon Refresher now, and it works even better because after battle, if your Pokemon has a status alignment, you can cure it immediately by just, I don't know, taking out a medicine and rub it in on your Pokemon. Which is welcomed, and I also like that they kind of brought back the, from Black 2, what was it called? Dream Plaza? Something I can't remember. Except this time it's not a physical place, you can access it from the start menu pretty much. And it acts pretty much like the multiplayer, in a sense. Although I have one very significant complaint. Although this does tie into the fact that I kind of ruined this game for myself. See, I tried to get somewhat into competitive Pokemon, and it pretty much has ruined the fun for me. For example, I don't think this is a spoiler, but you can encounter Necrozma. I remember catching it, and I was like, yes! But then I remember, oh shit, I need to check if it has a helpful nature and all that shit. It didn't, so I had to reset, try again, just to catch it again. Although, to be fair, in that battle, I think the catch rate is significantly higher, because I caught it on my first try like 4 times in a row, which is a statistical anomaly. Maybe I got extreme luck, I don't know, I haven't checked. And it's the same thing whenever I catch a new Pokemon. It's like I have to, if it's a Pokemon I know is significant that you can use in Versus or PvP or whatever you want to say, then there's so much stuff to keep track of. There's the nature, the IVs, then you have to EV train it, so much stuff you have to do just to get it ready. And of course the move pool, and there's so much shit. I hear there's a move teacher, i.e. in this game that wasn't in Sun and Moon. There never is in the first version. There always is in the third. Which does help a lot for the competitive scene, of course, that you can teach Pokemon somewhat exclusive moves like Stealth Rock. And of course, like I said, my biggest complaint, and that is EV training. In X and Y, they sort of fixed it by having something called super training, which was a feature you could access from the start menu to instantly EV train. Here, it has been removed. It's like, oh well, okay, fine, you can always battle wild Pokemon. Yeah, but there's a problem. There's no real way for you to reset your IVs. In X and Y, you could reset it instantly. So if you're like me and you get a legendary and you actually want to train it for competitive, good luck, you probably need to put that thing in a box. Or at least turn off XP share. Because you're gonna end up with a lot of shit IVs. I didn't even use my Necrozma the moment I catched it. I saved it for post-game for me to train it to the full. And it takes such a long time. They sort of help by having, I think it's called SOS battles. In wild Pokemon can call for backup, and if you defeat multiple Pokemon of the same kind, their IV yield will multiply. But you're still stuck with it for a long time. At least in X and Y, you had something more visual, should we say. There was a mini game you could play, and sure, it was kind of tedious and it came one-sided, but it took about an hour and then you'd be done. Here, it's just so boring again. It feels like I've been spoiled by X and Y, which came out before this, so it's certainly a step back. It's not like I can transfer the new Pokemon to X and Y and EV train and send them back. But that's just for me, pretty much, and competitive. It doesn't affect your average casual in any shape or form. So if you just want to get the Pokemon and you don't give a shit about competitive, just catch them and have fun with them. But I would still love for the competitive scene to get a bit more love. Or maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe they have introduced a completely new feature I'm yet unaware of. I don't think it has. But whatever. Also, I actually kind of like the characters in this game. Yeah, they just kind of come and go, and there's kind of an abundance on them, but still, they're not that bad. Some of them are fun and memorable. And they even managed to reverse the roles in a sense, because I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but in this game, you're the rival, kind of. And the one who picks the Pokemon after you is kind of like who Red was in Generation 1, and this time you're Blue, in a sense. Like, he's the one trying to catch up to you. They even signify it by having him automatically pick the starter Pokemon that has a disadvantage against yours instead of vice versa like it's always been. Which was kind of an interesting twist, I guess, and I'm kind of neutral to the fact that there's no gyms. This is sort of a lie. And there's trials, even though some of them are like gyms, i.e. fight a bunch of people in a row. And I'm pretty glad for the introduction of Totem Pokemon, which is essentially boss Pokemon that you can't catch. Pretty much just a bigger, badder version of a normal Pokemon. Although they begin the battle automatically with stat boosts and they can call in other Pokemon for reinforcements. Which makes it a bit more hectic and makes it a bit more RPG-ish, which I know this game is, but let's face it, Pokemon is pretty much its own thing. This is the first time we actually had proper bosses, so to say. I also like that the Z crystals are part of the story, so you pretty much get them eventually. I haven't seen a single Mega Stone yet, but I bet they play in some part. But whatever, I've talked for way too long. If you're interested in this game, get in. Like I said, it's good, but there are elements of it that other Pokemon games do better. Might not be worth it if you already have Sun or Moon, though I definitely think this is worth a play if you're a Pokemon fan. Then again, you probably already have it. Thank you for listening, I'll see you later.